There we go.
Okay, so we'll go along table here and introduce ourselves.
I'm still Dot. And apparently I am our tech person for this evening. Apologies.
And for the show, you are.
Oh, I'm the co-director.
Small detail. Hello, everybody in the room and online. My name is David. I am co-directing the show with Dot, and I'm also choreographing the show.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Miguel Malaco, and I'm the music director for this show.
Yay.
Hi guys, I'm Daniel and I'm the executive producer.
So now we're gonna go to David to go over some introductions and info on the production.
Awesome. So, how many people know Anything Goes? Hands up. Oh, that's good. That's good. Well, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what it's about anyway. I fell in love with this show when I was years old. It was 1987, I think. It was when it was not the revival was nominated for the Tonys. And Patti LuPone, they did the Anything Goes number on the Tony Awards. This was back in the day before PVRs. I'm really aging myself here.
You were fun.
I was too. No, before PVRs existed, you had this thing called the VHS player. Does anybody know what a VHS player is? Yeah. I said this at work a couple of weeks ago, and the girl was like, "What the hell are you talking about?"
Yes.
No, so back in the days, you couldn't just set your PVR to record it. You actually had to sit there and push record. So for every Tony shows when I was a teenager, I would watch the Tonys and I would only record the musical numbers. I didn't care about the awards. I was just so obsessed with the musical numbers. And I wore out the tape watching Patti LuPone and the company perform the Anything Goes and that top number. I watched it over and over and over and over again. And when I got this show, it brought back those memories. And I actually, in high school, had lifted part of the choreography for a drama project once. And I was like, I still remember the choreography. So there will be probably an ode to the Patti LuPone number when we do this. So, but if you don't know what the show is about, it's obviously one of the classic musicals written by Cole Porter. It's so much fun. It's not done or hasn't been done very often. There have been multiple revisions of the libretto, the script over the years, because the original version of the script was somewhat problematic because there were some racial insensitivities in it. So over the years, that's as much as I'll say. So over the years, they've revised it, but in 2022, when they did a major revision of it and have really updated it to modern sensitivities now. So they've kind of eliminated all of those insensitivities. So and that's the script that we will be working from, okay? So if you don't know what Anything Goes is about, hang on for dear life, because we're going to try to do this in about 90 seconds. So it's set aboard this luxury ocean liner called the SS American, which is sailing from New York to London. Okay, I'm going to stop here for a second. The funny thing about the show is, the original version of the show, the boat sank and they all got shipwrecked and that they had to do the end of the show on this island. However, about a month before the show was to open, a real ocean liner exploded and sank and 189 people died. So they thought it was in really poor taste to go ahead with this new musical about an ocean liner that sank. Anyway, that's just an interesting little thing. So there's this character named Billy Crocker. He is a young Wall Street broker and he's in love with his debutante. Her name is Hope Harcourt. But Hope is engaged to this wealthy, socially awkward English guy called Lord Evelyn Oakley. And she's only getting married to him because her mother is poor and he's rich, so she wants to marry into money so that her mother is taken care of. But Billy is determined to stop this wedding from happening, so he sneaks aboard the ship as a stowaway. And with the help of his friend Reno Sweeney, Reno Sweeney is this like glamorous nightclub singer turned evangelical celebrity, and she's accompanied by these four fabulous backup singer dancers known as the Angels. So also on board, yes. Also on board is a gangster named Moonface Martin, or otherwise known as Public Enemy number 13. Now, the interesting thing about gangsters in this time is that we're talking 1934, I think, is when it premiered, is when it's set. So Prohibition had just ended, and the Great Depression had just ended in 1929. And everybody was really mad at the financial systems. I'll say that now, I work in finance. So, but they were mad at the banks because they felt that the banks were responsible for the Great Depression and them losing all their money. And so they really celebrated these gangsters and these mobsters and these bank robbers who would go and rob banks and stole money from the bank. They thought it was great because they thought the banks were the bad people, so the robbers became like these celebrities and heroes. So this gangster Moonface Martin is accompanied by this fabulous character named Irma. If we were ever to do a miscast of this show, I would love to play her. She uses all these different disguises, and there's all these fake identities and comic tricks to avoid Moonface getting captured. So Billy keeps telling Hope how much he loves her, and she keeps saying, no, I'm engaged, I'm marrying into money, money is more important to me, blah, 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 blah. At some point in the show, Reno starts to have feelings for the old English guy, Laurie Evelyn Oakley. Okay, she's really charmed by his sincerity. I don't think she really is interested in the money because she's quite wealthy herself. And at the same time, Hope slowly starts to realize that she's actually in love with Billy. She's not really in love with this guy. So there's like a series of whole like comic scandals that erupt on the ship. There's all these like fake arrests, there's blackmail attempts, and Billy gets identified as another criminal, and he becomes like a national hero. But by the end of the voyage, guess what happens?
Big tap dance.
No, that's at the end of Act One. The end of Act One is Big Tap Dance. That's right. There's a wedding. Everybody gets shuffled around, and the correct couples come together. Billy with Hope, Reno with Evelyn, and then Moonface and Irma, you know, escape trouble once again. And the show really ends with a celebration of romance and the idea that in a changing modern world, anything goes. I know I didn't do it in that section. So I'm really excited about the show. It is, it's so much fun. There's so much to do. There are so many great parts in this show. Like there's so many great roles in the show, but the ensemble also has a lot to do. Both the male and the female identifying ensemble. And it's obviously a big dance show. A lot of people do mistake this as a tap show, which it is, but there is only one tap number in the show. It's title number, anything goes, that comes at the end of Act One. It is a 6.5-minute tap number, but there's only one, okay? And I think like, the show is still relevant today. Back in 1934, when it was written, like the ship, which is called the SS America, really was a metaphor for the US at the time. And the characters in the show really were a reflection of society at the time. Are they gassing us or something?
Oh, that's probably just.
Okay.
Anyways,
So I think like 90 years later, much of this holds true. Like the characters that are on board the ship are really representative of the society in which they lived in 1934, and I think can really translate to what we're living in 2026. You know, back in 1934, like I said, end of the Great Depression, Prohibition had just ended. I mean, who can imagine living without wine? Like, I mean, come on. So reality was really harsh, right? It was harsh for the audiences then. We are dealing with a lot of stuff that's going in our world today, economically, geopolitically, globally, with wars and all that stuff. So, you know, at the time, this was a show that people could just go into the theater and forget their troubles, even if it was just for a few hours. And I really think the same is true that we can do today for those that are involved in the show and also the audiences that really see the show. I know I'm talking a lot, but wrap up with what I think makes this show really special is just the blend of the words and the music and the choreography. I wrote down this quote that I read from Cole Porter. He said that words and music must be so inseparably wedded to each other that they are like one. And if you don't know Cole Porter's music, he's just so brilliant in how he writes the melodies and the lyrics. It's so smart and it's so witty. There are so many references to the time period within the pieces that he has written that are in this show. We are going to remain true to the show. We're not setting it on a spaceship in the year 2089.
I got voted down.
Yeah. It's going to be set. It's going to be a big old classic, we want a big cast musical. There's some amazing opportunities for some great choreography, some great storytelling, but ultimately, you know, it is a very funny show. For me, comedy has to be rooted in truth. So in the room, we will work through that. It's ultimately about love, friendship, and hope prevailing against all odds and against really bad times. and really is, you see these characters that are constantly going through great lengths for friends and also for their loved ones and anything that they would do to help somebody out. I think that's all I have to say for now.
Okay. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the characters and sort of, what they're like, because some of them may not be exactly what you're expecting them to be. If you don't know the show, if you do know the show, this is my thought on them. So like David was saying, like this show is amazing. It's glamorous, it's fast-paced, it's ridiculous, it's romantic, and it's unapologetically theatrical. So we want to lean into that heightened comedy and the big style of the piece. For us, for me, the phrase would be over the top but sincere. So that's kind of what we're heading for. And the humor in here works best when the characters completely believe their circumstances, even when everything around them is completely ridiculous. If they are believing it, then it comes across as much funnier to the audience because the stakes are higher for them. So I'm just going to give you a little blurb about each of the characters. So when you're pondering your choices for maybe your audition material or your callback, you have an idea of sort of the flavor of the characters that we're dealing with. So first we have Reno Sweeney, who is our leading lady. She's the heartbeat of the show. She's a dazzling nightclub singer who is a former evangelist. I think that gives you a little feel for how big and brassy she can be. She's a complete powerhouse and the coolest person on the ship. Other people may argue that. If you're in the show, you may be like, no, my character is, but sure. So she's witty, she's confident, she's glamorous, she's larger than life, but she's also warm and she has a real heart. She has the look at me gene, but she also connects really well with everybody who comes into her path. And she gets to sing the big, I get a kick out of you, you're the top, friendship. She sings a lot. Anything goes after she's done a 6-minute tap number. Blow Gabriel blow. And Billy Crocker, who you talked about, he's our lovable romantic hero. Here's one of the ones where he may not be what you expect. Because when you think romantic hero, you think more of the.
I'm sorry, can we pause for 2 minutes?
Sure.
There's a bunch of people trying to get on that are unable to. For some reason, the email that went out yesterday had an incorrect link. Oh, and I don't know who, so I don't know how to send them a blanket invite. I got some people on that know me. Sorry, guys, I just want to make sure we get everybody in. Is there a quick way we can?
I'm seeing something. We're coming in. Wow.
I just got in.
Julian
And Steph, I just got in. Emily, I just emailed the link to, but I don't know how many other people are out there. Is there any way we can use? No? Okay. Okay, sorry, everybody. I just wanted to see.
The link on the website's right.
Yeah, okay. That's why I was sending them. It's the link to our website. So,
No.
sorry, guys. Sorry, go ahead. That's okay. I just wanted to see.
Billy.
Billy!
So Billy is not what you expect. Usually your romantic lead is more of the straight man. Not this guy. He's charming, he's optimistic, he's quick thinking, but he is also pure chaos. He's I put it in here. Billy has to be believable both as a romantic lead and as a comedic disaster. And that's kind of what he is. So it's a very, very funny role, and he gets into really, really crazy situations during the show. So if you enjoy being a leading man, this one gives you a much bigger chance to show off your comedic chops as well. Hope also is a little different than your average ingenue. She's a little bit more, she's got wit, she's got humor, she's got a little bit of mischief in her. She's kind of like Rose from Titanic, except the boat doesn't sink in this version. So yeah, she's got a little bit more spunk to her. She doesn't need somebody to save her. In fact, I think it's more likely she saves Billy than vice versa. Sir Evelyn Oakley is just like a comic tour de force, because yes, he is this, you know, sort of stuck up British man, but he's the guy who, you know, his big number is the Gypsy in Me, where he talks about, you know, letting his gypsy out. And, you know, and so you have to have excellent comic timing. In a perfect world, we'll be looking for a British accent. So you don't have to do that for your song for the audition. That'd be in sides at the callback. So don't worry about coming in and, you know, singing whatever you're going to sing with a really thick British accent, because you don't need to do that for this. But the more you can embrace the absurdity and the comedy, the better this role is. So you can get weird. This is a great chance to get weird. Let's see, Moonface Martin. He's a bad guy, but he's actually like, I would refer to, he's fast talking, he's loyal, he's lovable. He just keeps getting caught up in ridiculous schemes that.
Like robbing banks.
Like robbing banks. Right. You know, and even on the boat, he gets caught up in these sort of ridiculous ideas that don't go where. So he's a scene stealer. If you really are dreaming of like, how can I be the person who upstages during a show? This is your la 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 to anybody who didn't want to hear that. But even when he's doing that, he has to be genuinely lovable, or else this character doesn't work. So he's a bad guy, but he's a bad guy that you kind of want to hug, if that makes sense. Irma, you describe Irma really well. She's loud, impulsive, flirtatious, opinionated, and completely unapologetic about any of it. And she just barrels through the show and leaves chaos in her wake. Great part. If you enjoy a good character role and a good character song, where you get to be a little spicy, Irma's your role. You want to bring the spice? You want to be Irma. Let's see, Mrs. Harcourt. So this is one where if you're not a dancer and you're a little bit older, or if you are a dancer, which would be even better, and you're a little bit older, Mrs. Harcourt is a great part. She's kind of like Rose's mom from Titanic again. You know, she wants to maintain her status and appearance and her dignity, and everything around her is refusing to let that happen. Most of all, her daughter, who is in love with the wrong person. She gets to do everything from just being your normal sort of snooty socialite to having a complete meltdown. So a lot of fun, a physical role, I would say, but she's definitely a hilarious role.
She has a dog.
She has a dog.
The dog's name is Cheeky. My favorite line in the show is she goes to the captain, because there's this whole thing with the dog, and the dog has got missing, and she's frantically looking for her dog. So she goes to the captain and she says, "Where's my little Cheeky?" And he says, "Honey, it's right next to your little nosy." I love that line.
It's good. Yeah, the dog. We're still talking about the dog, but the dog is probably not gonna be a real dog.
That's how those dogs are legally blonde. And they all I know.
Those dogs were perfect, but this dog kind of gets.
I know, but because the dog gets sheared, thrown overboard, and stuffed down somebody's pants.
So,
Yeah.
There's
you
ways to
know,
work.
if you're looking to play Mrs. Harcourt, you're like, I really don't like dogs. I don't think you're gonna have a real one. So just putting that out there. Okay, Eli J. Whitney. Wow, he is, he spends most of the show a little tipsy. He's eccentric. He is larger than life. He's very nearsighted. Really, this part has a little bit of everything. And he's kind of paired with Mrs. Harcourt at the end. Is this a role that you want to have a dancer in?
I think everybody can dance. I will preface it by saying that, but no, There's not a heavy dance in this.
Yeah. So, for both Mrs. Harcourt and Eli Whitney, we happy to have you be a dancer. Do you need to be a tap star? Maybe not. Although if you are a tap star.
I think one of the great things about this show, particularly the big dance numbers, is there is opportunities to feature characters who may not necessarily be traditionally dance characters. So if we had a Mrs. Harcourt that was a fabulous tap dancer, you could build that into this number or blow the creator go. So there's lots of flexibility with the big dance numbers in this show to utilize, people if they do have dance skills, and if they don't, then we just don't use them. In the big dance sequences.
So if you happen to be a person who's looking at some of those roles and thinking, do I have to be like Sutton Foster to play that role? No, but if you are, we'll make that work too. So we have the captain and the purser, who are they're the poor people who are trying to maintain or keep the chaos in the ship under wraps. They sort of play like the straight man to everybody who's in the show. They're very funny. So the more everything dissolves into chaos, the more I follow the rules they try to become. You can imagine how that works out for them. Yeah, they're and they also are very concerned about having sort of A-list celebrities on the boat.
I guess that was the thing back then, is they had some, Reno Sweeney is the headliner in the nightclub, but there were always like famous people or celebrities that would be sailing on the boat with them, which would, I guess, make regular people want to come and do that sailing as well.
Yeah.
I think there's a line about they had somebody and Charlie Chaplin's on another boat, and how are we going to compete with that? So there seemed to be this competition amongst the liners of getting like famous people or celebrities just to come and sail with them.
Which is why they get very excited when they think Public Enemy number one is on their boat. So it's interesting. The Angels. They're kind of mini-me's to Reno. Big personalities, these definitely need to be, these are dancer roles. You need to be able to sing too, but definitely you're going to get your dance on if you end up as one of the Angels. And they are glamour and sparkle and personality. Yeah, they just need to be a huge stage presence. So when Reno's on stage, they are not just in the background, they are with her. So
they will all have very distinct personalities. They're not going to be like a Greek chorus of angels behind her. Each angel will have a very distinct character and personality that they will work throughout the show.
Then we have the sailors who are sort of the opposite of the not the opposite, but like they're sort of this great quartet of men, and they get a great song and they do all kinds of things, and they get to be the foil to Irma all throughout the show. The sailors are really, really, really fun roles, and yes, they dance on top of everything else. So solid vocal skills, solid dance skills. Yeah, and again, personality and charm, because when you're paired with the Angels, you got to bring it. Yeah. The other two sort of, I'm skipping that one. Spit and Dippy. So this, as David was saying, there was some changes made to the show to make it not offensive anymore. And one of that was switching two characters to be New York street toughs. So they're now these two gangsters, and they're quick talking and scrappy and opinionated, and they're always getting into trouble or trying to pull other people into trouble. So they've got that sort of screwball comedy energy. So more in line with, what you would see from like Abbott and Costello, like that kind of like edge to it. And they need to have a good, strong chemistry together, and a willingness to go all in on the crazy comedy, because that's kind of in line with what they are. And then the last thing is the ensemble. The ensemble is going to play so many roles in the show. There are, let's see, passengers, crew members, reporters, FBI agents, bartenders, society elites, and those are just some of the things that they get to do during the show. So this is not a, I can say this from being in, say, The Sound of Music, where I was one of the nuns and I came in and I sang, and then I sat backstage for an hour and watched David go on to sing. But if you're in the ensemble in the show, you will have a lot to do. You are definitely going to get to strut your stuff, and you're definitely going to be featured. Everybody in this show needs to have a little bit of the look at me gene, because that's the type of show it is, where everything is just sassy and has just a little bit extra to it. One of the things that I will often say in the rehearsal room is, your job is to make me say, too big, let's go back. And if you manage to get me to say that, it doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, bravo. But this is the type of show where you want to get to the point where David and I have to go, it's time for us to. For sure.
On the ensemble too, because I've had a couple of people that have asked me, oh, is there a lot for the ensemble to do? And I totally get that as a question if you're going to commit to being in a show. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but like God said, there's lots for the ensemble to do. There's a lot, I don't know how many musical numbers there are actually in the show, but I went through and specifically went, okay, these are the ensemble numbers. There's 12 of them in the show. Some of them are, I think 2 of them are just the sailors, but there are also places where nothing's been completely firmed up yet, but Dot and I have had some conversations about adding ensemble into some of the numbers that traditionally don't have an ensemble in them. One of the ideas we're working with right now is, I love this show. The one thing I would say I dislike about the show is it, only because I'm a dancer, it doesn't open with a big dance number. It opens with a scene, doesn't even open with a song. It opens with a very small, intimate scene in a bar, and then segues into Reno's first song, which is a solo, I Get a Kick Out of You. So there's no real big ensemble number until about 15 minutes into the show. And so we're looking at potentially building in something at the beginning of the show as part of the overture. The show takes place, like the opening scene takes place in this smoky Manhattan bar. I want this kind of concept of when the audience comes in, they're immersed in this really smoky bar. We've got people on stage that are drinking, like cast members that are drinking at the bar, sailors that are, and angels and society people that are in the bar dancing and having a good time. And it kind of segues through the overture into a bit of a dance number to open the show. The next thing that happens is like the ship's going to be leaving, and so the sailors will be like leaving their women at the bar and taking off to go get on the boat. So we haven't fully flushed this concept out yet, but it's going to introduce more opportunities for some of the ensemble and some of the dancers to add some more material for them to do there. And then Dot had talked about the Gypsy and Me number, which is this crazy number that he sings, and it's so much fun. But when I was in university, I did a production of Dames at Sea, also another show that had a lot of racial insensitivity. I do know nobody does it anymore.
The 30s.
But there was like this, there was kind of like this samba number in it. And the choreographer added dancing palm trees. And I was a dancer in the show. And so I have this concept of in this Gypsy and Me number, which is kind of like this like samba-ish number of adding some of the ensemble in to kind of dance around and make that a little crazy. So some more opportunities there as well for ensemble stuff. The big numbers really are like for the ensemble, for all the ensemble, Bon Voyage, which is the first big ensemble number, which is a lot of fun. It's the lovely, even though it's Billy and Hope that are singing it, there's a whole beautiful kind of lyrical dance section in the middle of that. Anything goes, obviously 6.5 minutes of tap dancing. The opening to Act 2, Public Enemy number 1 is a really fun, more vocal than dancing in that number. Blow Gabriel Go, Blow, which takes place in the nightclub. It's actually 7 minutes of dancing and singing. Then the Gypsy and Me, Buddy Beware for Irma and the Men. And then the end, there's this really beautiful wedding march. And then there's actually a recap, like a reprise of some of the songs in the finale where we'll add some dancing in as well. So don't rule this out as like one of those shows where, oh, the ensemble only is really in 2 numbers, because they're not. There's going to be a lot for the ensemble to do.
You want to talk about
Your
some
turn.
music?
Are there any questions so far about characters or for the direction side of things? Okay, hi, so that's a lot of really great information, you're. And that's,
Oh my God, we overwhelmed Miguel.
Miguel just closed Legally Blonde 2 days
Yeah,
ago.
like 2 days
He's
ago.
a little shell shocked.
It's not a pop rock show, I'll tell you that. Okay, so where can I start? So I made a list of things here. When you're considering, let's talk about the audition first. So general tips for music selection for an audition. Consider the overall musical style of the show. So I always say to people, this kind of falls more into a golden age show, even though it's technically like a few years before golden age. It actually, I did a deep dive and it says it's in the jazz era. So it's actually a jazz comedy because Cole Porter, jazz, all that stuff. It just missed the golden age. So consider something like golden age musical, a jazzy piece, or even like, you know, Kander and Ebb is jazzy as well. You could pick something like if you have something in your toolbox by Kander and Ebb that sort of falls in that sort of style of music as well. So I never want to say, you know, pick something from the 1930s because this show is from then. Like, you know, there's lots of ways that you can experiment with an audition piece. So it's a comedy, so you may want to, I don't know if that matters to you, maybe it matters for the type of character you're coming out for, maybe a piece that has can showcase a little bit of comedic timing. But ultimately you should pick something that you're comfortable singing. Don't go out of your way to find something that's new and super challenging to impress us, because ultimately what impresses us is your perseverance and your vocal talents that you already have. And so just come with a song that you know that will sort of fit in this time frame. Please prepare 2 pieces. The first piece we'll probably hear in full. Unless it's a really long piece, we might cut you off, or you could do yourself a favor of finding a section of music to sort of taper it out, or cut the beginning and kind of start a little bit into it, like a verse or 2 in. But generally, we do listen to a full piece. This piece should showcase your vocal ease, your vocal style, maybe the character that you're going for. If you're not going for a specific character, don't worry about that. Just come in with a song that you're really comfortable. You're gonna, you have it memorized, you know it well, and you're really just gonna come in and have a good time.
Can I tag on that for just 1 second?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and even if you are going for a specific character, you can still bring in a piece that you were just comfortable with. And do your thing with it. And David and I, and plus Miguel, will give you a redirect. If you say I want to be Reno, we'll give you a redirect that kind of lets us see a little bit of that flair. So a redirect for anybody who has no idea what that meant.
How long are the audition slots?
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
8 minutes.
What do you consider a long song?
Typically a song's like 3-ish minutes. That'll give us enough time to, you can redo the song on a redirect, or let's say the piece you chose it's a great piece, but yours, I was gonna talk about a second piece, about 16 to 32 measures long. Maybe that second piece stylistically is like, oh, actually that might be a better piece for us to hear you play with the song. And it could be more of an upbeat, or maybe it's more of a ballad or something, and we just want to hear a different style from you. So it gives us there's flex time in there for you to do both songs and potentially a repeat of one of the songs through a redirect.
Are we bringing sheet music or playing to a recording?
I'll get to all of that. That's okay, that's right.
Just one other note on redirects, because for me, redirects used to scare the crap out of me. And I used to really get so in my head about, oh, what did I do wrong that wasn't good? What should I, it's got nothing to do with that. Sometimes a redirect can just be to see how a performer takes direction. It could have nothing to do with the character, that choice, or the character that you want to audition for or thinking of you for. It is sometimes somebody can come in and do a brilliant audition, and rather than just say, okay, thank you, right? It's like, let's throw a curveball and see how they handle it. So my thing with redirects is I won't forget anything I know about what I brought in, which is really hard because you've done so much preparation, so much work. I want to toss all that out and just go, okay, what do you want? You want me to act like a chicken plucking along the side of the road while I sing my song? Great, let's do it, right? Like, don't try to ration in the moment. Don't try to rationalize why we've asked you to do it.
So that actually brings me to the point of having your music memorized is actually a huge benefit, because if we give you a redirect to be silly with the song, and the song might be quite serious, and we're like, we want you to pretend it's a joke song, or you're not falling in love, you're actually breaking up or something like that. So not having sheet music will give you the ability to let go of the words and just play with the words rather than reading the words. So your second piece could be contrasting. So if you come in with a lyrical piece, think about like a patter song or something more grandiose, or something that's more just stylistically different. What else can I tell you here? Please make sure the music is in the key that you'd like it. David Loach, our piano player, who's fabulous piano player, could probably change the key on cue, but that's really stressful. So please make sure just the key that you'd like to sing it in is the sheet music that you bring in. You can send music to David Loach ahead of time so that he can prepare the music, and there are oftentimes the pianist will look at a piece super well. So he doesn't mind rehearsing it ahead of time, and he'll research it and look at tempos online, and maybe even communicate with you. So if you'd like to send your sheet music, we'll post this online for our friends who are online. It's David, David, Loach, Loach, 01 at gmail.com. David Loach 01 at, sorry, did I say Hotmail? Gmail.
No, you said Gmail.
It's actually in the audition.
It's in the
notice.
audition.
Oh, perfect. Okay, it's all
It's
there.
actually in the audition notice and stuff.
So, yeah, just send the music to him. He'll practice it ahead of time. That way, when you come in here to do your song, he knows it, you know it, and there's no like, how fast is this? I don't know this. This is a bad key for him to read. That all, all those scary things. Okay, on the day of the audition, please bring your sheet music in a binder so that it's full punched. Don't do the accordion thing, because if one sheet falls, the whole thing falls, and then we're starting from scratch again. Photocopy it double-sided, so when the pianist flips the page, there's fewer pages to flip. And no loose pages, please. I've seen it happen where things just, the fans are on the sheets below, and then it makes you feel bad, and it's like, it's not your fault. It's just, we're just trying to set you up for success. So, okay, during the rehearsal process, just a little bit about the rehearsal process. You do not need to know how to read music. I've worked with lots of people in the past who music notes on a page might as well be brief, you know what I mean? So it's okay, we learn a lot by rote, we do a lot through repetition. If you read music, fantastic. If you read a little bit because you played an instrument or sang in choir back in grade 9 or something, excellent. Well, we do a lot of repetition. We play it on the piano, you can record it on your phone. So if you have most phones have a recording device app on it, you can ask whoever's on piano to play your part. We also tend to pair, like in ensemble numbers. If you're singing alto, we pair all the altos together, all the sopranos together. So you're never alone on a part, unless I don't know. It's very rare, but like it's very, very rare to be alone on a part. We typically learn the music first in the rehearsal, through the rehearsal process, so that when David begins the choreo, the music is ingrained, and then when David and Dot together begin the scene work, the music is also part of the scene work. It is a musical after all, so knowing the music and how the scene is going to play, so how the music plays with the scene it's integral to that. So that's the process. There's lots of flexibility with singing. We're I'm always open to interpretation, when dealing with solos and duets. I never ever really try to tell a singer, I want you to sing it this way, my way, because I'm not on stage, I don't have to do it. So that's such an absurd thing to me. People come in with so many great ideas and I wanna take those ideas and let them sort of explore the character through their own voice. Like I said, I'm not the one on stage. So I want it to be as much part of you as it is a part of the whole ensemble. So yeah, there's flexibility with the idea of the song, the tempo of the song, and how to phrase it, and all that sort of stuff. We will have a 12-piece live band, which is fantastic. It's huge. It'll be accompanying the entire run of the show. And in rehearsals, we'll be using a pianist only, obviously. And it's a beautiful jazz score. If you're not familiar, there's like numbers, I'm sure they're all jazz standards. Like if you love jazz, you've probably heard half of these songs already. But like You're the Top, my goodness, Friendship, It's the Lovely, Blow Gabriel Blow, as we've mentioned before, Buddy Beware, feel like I'm forgetting one. Anything Goes. Title. So all those, you can probably find like 100 versions of all those songs, from jazz, vocal jazz to big band versions of all those numbers. So it's a nice way to really bring this music to life. Finally, just some words of encouragement. Sing music you're comfortable with. Find something that vocally and stylistically suits you. Don't try to do something new and then leave here a little bit disappointed that you didn't get to showcase your best self. If you make a lyric mistake at an audition, honestly, we probably won't even notice, because we're focusing on like 100 other things. We may be focusing on your delivery, your tone, your dynamics, your character potential, your physicality on stage, your pitch, your rhythm, your emotional variation, your phrasing, how you're coordinated with the accompaniment. Who cares if you screw up a word? Nobody cares. And if you screw up a pitch or note, or you mispitch something, again, we're probably not going to notice. It's one of those things where we're looking at a much wider thing than just a note or a word. That can be fixed in rehearsal, right? So
Unless we rehearse.
We're your champions. Here we want everyone to succeed. So we want to hear your best self. So if you truly feel at the end of it all that it wasn't the best version of the song, and we don't want you to leave disappointed, tell us and say, I'd really love to redo that song again. Great. We've got 8 minutes. We probably won't use the whole 8 minutes. And if you want to sing we might just say, can you just do a portion of it? What portion would you like to really try again and showcase like that part that maybe you flubbed, and you're like, I'd really love to redo that. I got all my words mixed up. We're like, okay, let's hear it again. That's great. So no problem. That's basically it. There's technically 25 songs, 25 pieces in this show, but probably something like 18 to 20 are actual songs in the show. Others are like scene change music, entr'acte, overture, the bows, and the exit music. Those all count as pieces, obviously. So 25 minus about 6 or 7 for just orchestral things. So there's a lot of music, and it's really gorgeous music, and a lot of fun to sing. That's it.
Speaking of the music, just like a little preview of some things we have in mind. You might actually get to have some of the instrumentalists on stage with you at some points. So if David gets to stay. So there's gonna be some non-traditional stuff that's happening as well. That's gonna be a lot of fun. On what Miguel said, in the audition room, think of it as you're coming in and you're doing a cabaret performance and we're just your audience. You do this because you love to do it. We do it because we love to do it. And we're looking at every one of you like you're a solution to our problem because we want to be able to cast every single person who walks through the door. We are honestly not scary. If you think of us as a basket of kittens, we're really, you will not find people who will cheerlead for you harder than this group of people who are on the panel.
We've all worked together.
Yeah. And we want every single one of you to come in and have a great time in the room. That is our hope. So I know everybody gets nervous. We've all done it. We know it's, oh my God. It's fine. You'll be fine.
I forgot something that I forgot to write in my notes. Please don't choose any music from the show itself, just because we're gonna hear it so many times. And also it locks you into a particular character and sound. So we would really prefer that you just come in with something adjacent to the show, maybe Cole Porter as well, but not from this particular show.
It can work against you, not because necessarily maybe you sing a song and we don't really see you in that role, but if you are the 17th person that comes in and sings Blow Gabriel Blow, we're probably gonna wanna. Yeah, cut. I want to just spend a minute. We've talked about kind of auditions, and I just want to spend a couple of minutes talking about the movement and dance auditions, because I know it can be incredibly intimidating for people, especially if you don't have a lot of dance experience. I danced professionally for a long time. It was a long time ago. I'm too old for it now, but I don't think I ever got to a point when I was dancing professionally where I honestly felt comfortable in a dance audition. They always scared the shit out of me. And they still do to this day when I still go on audition for shows. It's just one of those things. And I think through that and through my experience as the dancer is my goal in a movement call or a dance call is just to have fun. That's what it's about. I want you to feel as comfortable and as confident as you can. And for those of you that have worked with me as a choreographer before know that we just like to have fun in the room and that there are always options. There are always modifications. If it's a step that you can't do, we will figure it out. And we'll do that tonight when we do the movement call. There's 17 different versions of what I put together for all different levels. So don't get stressed out about it. The one thing I have been accused of is I do work fairly fast. So if that happens, you put your hand up and say, yeah, you need to slow down a bit. But having said that, there is an expectation, particularly with the dance core that comes in, that you're going to do the work outside of rehearsals, right? I'm going to expect that you're going to go, you're going to digest, you're going to email me and ask questions, you're going to come back and ask questions. But we don't have the luxury with a show of this size and this rehearsal schedule to spend 7 rehearsals running anything goes number, right? We always block time to learn. We always block time to come back and clean. The great thing about SMT is that when you get to the point of actually running the show and when you move into the theater, you have lots of times. I have literally worked with groups where you might get 1 or 2 runs in before your first audience. If you've not worked with SMT, it is not like that here. We have 2 full weeks in the theater on the stage before, well, almost 2 full weeks before we even have an audience in front of us. We have the orchestra with us for 2 of those rehearsals, at least 2 of them, isn't it? 2 to 3 of them. So by the time we have our first audience in front of us, we have run the show 6 or 7 times from start to finish. Right? I've been in shows where
you will be
do that.
dreaming of an audience.
Yes.
So, just take a deep breath. If you're not a dancer or movement isn't your thing, take a deep breath. Like Dot and Miguel said, we want to see you succeed. And in the room, my goal as a choreographer is to just have fun with you and have it be an enjoyable experience. Because I went through so many unenjoyable dance auditions that I never want anybody to have to.
Those who do end up in the show and if you dancer or non-dancer, we actually do have rehearsal tracks that are the actual dance breaks and things from the show that you can use to
And if
rehearse
you're
with.
sticking around for the movement, we'll use it tonight. Because
Yeah.
the great thing is you can slow the tempo down on it. I haven't played enough with it for like vocal tracks, but I think you can break out like the harmonies and the vocal tracks, so you can isolate your lines so that you can, learn and stuff. There are some really great recordings, audio recordings and video recordings of the show out there. The one thing caveat I will just say is if you are listening to like the Sutton Foster version, which is fabulous, all of the orchestration, like all of the dance orchestrations in that are completely different from what we're using. Those were specially licensed for her productions. There isn't really a fulsome audio recording that has the complete dance recording. Obviously, when there's a 6.5-minute tab number, they're going to cut parts of it. But there is great, if you want some reference material, go out and listen to some of the recordings. There's some really great recordings.
For the, oh, sorry.
No, we just had a question on the Zoom.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Will the audition pianist work from a lead sheet versus a full written out accompaniment?
If the chords that he can, if whoever's online, if they want to send it ahead of time to me, I can guide them as to whether it's possible. Yeah, David reads chords. If it's a song he knows, he can kind of fake it through, or he can listen to the song online or something and then learn what it's supposed to be and use the chords to support it. Okay, yeah.
Also on that, if you have a song and you can't find the sheet music to it, David or myself probably has that song in the thing that you're looking for. So if you send that information into David, he may ask me if we're looking.
Yeah, for those people who are new, who might be new to SMT and auditioning for the first time, we audition, we do general auditions first, then we do the callback, where we give you potential role or 2 or 3, depending on what you would like to, who you would like to play and who we think we see you as, that sort of thing. We will give you musical material to prepare for that, and that's actually out of the show. So if you're coming out for one of the lead roles, we'll give you 1 or 2 of the lead songs from the show that you'll prepare a section of and come in and sing for the audition. For the callback. Are we doing, it's open as well, right? Do you want to talk about that?
It's semi-open.
Yeah.
So if you've ever auditioned for me before, from the beginning to the end, no matter what character is currently in the callback, you're allowed to sit there and watch. We're going to do something a little different this time. If you were called back for a character, everybody who's called back for that character, or if there's more than one that are reading together, they're going to all be in the room together. So you get a little audience. But if you're not called back for those characters, you will not be in the room. So we're just going to make it a little tighter this time. Speaking of callback material, you probably get some sides as well. You don't have to memorize, but you do want to be able to do this and actually look at your, and interact with your scene partners if you have one. And if you don't have one, you want to be able to interact with us, because this right here is the thing that sells your song or your scene. So we want to be able to see your face. So make sure that you're able to.
And that the callback material we will make available
Ahead of time.
ahead of the audition.
Yeah.
So you'll have time to look at it.
Ahead of the audition.
Yeah, no, ahead of the callbacks. Yeah. I mean, what did we, was it posted?
As soon as we have it together, it'll be available for people.
So it'll be posted, and then, if you don't, like, if we haven't announced callbacks yet, and you want to look at it, because you think you might get a callback, we'll be able to do that.
Miguel just finished the show.
Yeah.
I just need one more week.
I just want to say one more thing too about auditions is there is a form that you have to submit. I'm sure Sherry will give you a copy of that. There is one question on that form that I just ask you be completely honest with. And it is, if you are coming in to audition for a specific role, if you want to come in audition for Reno Sweeney, the next question is, will you consider another role, or will you consider ensemble? If it's Reno or bust, that is totally fine. I get it.
Please just.
I've been doing community theater auditions for a long time now. I know that if it's a show where I really want to play this role, but because I want to play that role, if there's an interest for me doing other stuff, I will put it down. But it just makes it so much more difficult for us as a panel when it comes to casting. If we're like, oh yeah, they said they would take this and we offer it, and then it's like, oh no, I only wanted Reno. So don't think that if you put it's Reno or nothing, it's gonna make us go, oh, well, what are they, a diva? It's not going to. We all get it. We've all been doing this for a long time. So just be honest with us. If there's a role that you want and or roles that you want, if you're not interested in being in the ensemble, although you're missing out if you don't.
Your FOMO will be real.
Just okay. There's no record keeping of that.
Yeah, but conversely, also saying that, it's being like, I only want to put down Reno because if I say ensemble, and they're running low on ensemble, I might get put in there. No. If you are the best Reno in the room, or you're the best Billy in the room, you're gonna get that part, whether you put down you will do ensemble or not. Because we want the best person in the role.
Irma.
So David, we have two questions online, which are sort of related, which is regarding your movement section
Okay.
after this. So should we stay on it on Zoom, or is it better to review the recording?
So it's up to you. So we're gonna record and we're going to, hopefully we can set this up, rather than record like we are right now on the Zoom, on the Owl, we're gonna set a camera up behind me so that we can record the combination from behind, like you would be learning it if you were learning it in a room. So we'll probably keep the Zoom on though too, in case people do Zoom. So if you're online and you want to stay and watch, but what we're gonna record, we're not just gonna record the combo as it's complete. We'll record, it'll probably be about an hour, and we'll just record kind of step by step teaching it from behind. And then we'll post that so people have access to that as well.
Thank you. Does anybody in the house have any questions?
Can you talk about your callbacks, the very important callbacks, and what that might entail?
Yes.
You get one.
That's a very good question. Okay, so everybody who auditions for the show, no matter what part you are auditioning for, will have to do the movement call. And as you've been told, if you've already booked your audition, that happens halfway through each night of audition. So I think it's like 8 or 8:15. So if your singing call is prior to the movement call, you are required to wait around, hang out, and then do the movement call. If your singing call is after the movement call, then you're required to come in for the movement call and then wait around until your singing time comes up. Again, you're gonna learn it tonight. This is the first time I've done this. We're teaching in advance, but I think it's great because people who are not comfortable with movement get a chance, a couple of weeks to have a crack at it. There are obviously certain roles in the show that are more dance heavy. The angels, the sailors, right now we're looking at 4 angels, right? But they're if we've got really great dancers that we can fill out with in other parts, it's not just going to be the angels that are going to be dancing. And there are some principal roles. So this is, I don't want to scare anybody here because I don't want to think, oh, I'm not going to come and audition for Reno because I don't know how to tap dance. But like I said before, there are options. Reno could be a fabulous tapper. Reno could not be a fabulous tapper. Billy and Hope have, a dance sequence in It's Still Lovely. I have visions of it could be a dream sequence if they're not if we don't find dancers for those roles. So we're being very creative with how we're approaching this. But certain of the roles that we would like to see featured in dance will be called back. So that would be like Reno, Billy, Hope. Probably it actually, the principals. Irma, maybe. And so the callback will be a tap callback. There will be no tap in the movement. Actually, I lied. Here's what I'm gonna do with the movement call. We're gonna do the movement call, which is really short. It's under a minute. And then I'm going to teach everybody in the room how to do a single time step. That is it. Okay? And it's easy. At the dance callback will be a full-on tap number. Okay, so it'll be a little bit longer. It's going to be obviously more complicated. Again, I think one of the greatest things about the tap kind of genre is there are so many versions. There's 17 different versions of a time step. You can do a very basic time step, or you can do a double, triple time step with a back flap wing in it. But if the person in the back is doing the single time step, and the person in the front is doing the fancy one. The feet look the same, the arms look the same, it's just that the tap sounds a little bit different, right? So there's lots of flexibility with tap to have different levels of experience or training within tap. And so at the dance callback, we will do a full-on tap combo, which will be modified for those different levels of experience. And that will be for the angels, the sailors, anybody who's interested in a principal role where we'd like to see some dance. I do also want to say, one of the things I like to do at dance callbacks is, if you're not called back, if you don't get a call back for the dance callback, but you want to come and check it out, come, right? If in a movement call, I see, oh, they don't think they're a dancer, but they move really well, I might call you back for it, right? But if you don't get that call back and you just want to come and experience it or come and check it out and see what it's like, come. I love that. You might show us something that we didn't know was in you. You might find something in you that you didn't know was there. So don't rule yourself out from a dance callback if you don't specifically get a dance callback. Like, if you do want to come, just let us know and we can bring you in for it. If you're like, no chance in hell, that's fine too, right? But I don't want, and if you are, I did have a question about, are there roles for strong tap dancers who don't have to sing? The answer to that is yes and no. The answer to that is yes, we are looking for strong tap dancers for this show and strong dancers for this show. And those, if dance is primarily your thing and singing is not your comfort zone, there are opportunities for people who can be featured in dance roles where they don't have to sing solo by themselves. However, there was a lot of ensemble music in this show, and those dancers will have to be involved in those numbers as well. And that would be Miguel's couple.
That was beautiful. Somebody asked a question about whether or not they should bring their tap shoes for the callback.
Tap shoes
For
to
the
the
dance
call.
For the audition dance call first.
For the movement call, no, you don't know. So it's a great question. Movement call, please just wear what you are most comfortable wearing. If it's running shoes, fine. If it's character shoes, heels for women, if it's dress shoes for men, just wear whatever you're comfortable in. You don't need to come in. Like, obviously the women in the show are going to be wearing period character shoes. Like if you're comfortable moving in character shoes, fine. But if you're not a mover, just wear whatever is most comfortable for you at the dance callback. If you have tap shoes, yes, please bring those. If you do not have tap shoes, don't stress about it. Don't worry about it. What I suggest for a tap callback is runners are not great because they tend to grip. So I would wear for women, a character shoe would be fine. For men, just like a hard soled dress shoe. Don't worry about don't go home and test all your shoes out to see which sound the loudest. Don't worry about that. Just something that is not gonna kind of be grippy and stop you from like moving through some of the steps. And also we talked about this. If you don't own tap shoes and you are cast in the show and you are in a tap number, you're not expected to go out and buy your own tap shoes just to be in the show. We will figure something out. They will be provided through costumes. Okay.
You had a question here?
Yeah, I was kind of saying like what the shoes were for movement and or callbacks. But also a question for you is, for the contrasting song, would you want to see like a musical theater song and a non-musical theater song? Do you want it to be pure musical theater or any jazz songs that aren't in a show?
Honestly,
acceptable?
makes no difference to me. It's whatever you're comfortable with. I'm just so happy to hear two songs that you love and showcase your voice.
And across the board, it's even if you're like Reno or bust, it's like just whatever shows character, like, and your personality, what you could bring the best you're comfortable with versus trying to showcase what is similar-ish to a certain role.
I think if you're going for one of the larger roles, and this would go for any show, whether it's this or a future show, I think then you have to be a little bit strategic in finding a piece. Like if you want to be Maria in The Sound of Music, you really got to come in with a song that's very Maria-esque, right?
So still have the essence of the character that you
Yeah.
want, but it doesn't like still something you're comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know some people may have to, like, if you don't have a huge repertoire under your belt of songs that are in your comfort level, yes, you might have to, I'm gonna break my own rule and say you'll have to like reach out and find something. And maybe just really practice it a lot, so it feels like it's second nature to you. But I mean, that's the nature of auditions, right? But if you're going for a general ensemble number and you're really not fussed about where you're placed, then just come in and sing something that you're very comfortable with.
I think the great thing too about the show is like, it's all jazz standard.
Honestly, a jazz standard.
So any kind of jazz standard would be
Yeah.
appropriate.
You
Should we
could,
bring a
like,
jazz song?
if you're familiar with Crazy for You,
Yeah.
anything from that show is like pretty much up the alley of this show. It's very similar in style. Most songs in the show, there's a couple that are sort of country-esque. I don't know if that'd be great, but yeah, so yeah, anything in that style would be fantastic. Cole Porter, Gershwin, Golden Age, Irving Berlin, I don't know, any of that.
David,
Yes.
so you were posting a video for the movement rehearsal dance call. Will they be getting a video for the callback?
Of the town.
Of the dance?
Why you gotta do that to me?
I'm just. I'm
No,
just
no.
asking a question here, so-
No, it's a great question, and here's my challenge with that, is that I need to see who comes to audition before I can actually finalize what that tap call is going to be. And I don't know that I will have time to put a combination
Yeah.
together and get it recorded in time for callbacks. I will do my best. And I think it definitely would be helpful. But know that in that session, we will take the time to break it down. And, you know, I'm also with the mind from dance auditions. Like, I used to go to dance auditions where the combination was like 4 minutes long. And I was like, it was, don't need to think, you know, it's like, my brain can't even remember what the first 8 bars were after you.
Yeah.
So I'm not, like, if you've worked with me as a choreographer, you know I am not a grapevine and box step choreographer. It's not what I do. But I do.
That's man of no importance for anybody who's really into box steps and like in the terms and.
We will take the time to break down all the steps, and in this particular dance, my thought right now is we are going to stick with like known steps. Like I'm not gonna try to teach you really intricate combinations. It's like, if you can do a time step and a shuffle and a maxi 4 and a Shirley tempo, like all the stuff. Like we're not gonna have the luxury, in the show we'll have the luxury of time of creating stuff. So the idea is that, you know, I'm gonna be calling out steps that if you've tapped before, you should already be familiar with. But I will do my best to kind of word it.
And at the callbacks for the movement, it would be all new. We would be reviewing what we are already doing.
The dance callback? No, the dance callback will be a completely different.
One and done, and then something,
Yes.
okay.
Any other questions here on?
Is the age of the person and the character something you really take into account?
It's
There, I think on the breakdown, there are like suggestions, but it's also like, I think we're all flexible with.
yeah, I mean, if you're coming in and you're giving us something where we go, yeah, this is the person for the role. And plus the ages on there, they're not we're not gonna be checking your birth certificate at the door. But you know, if you look or you give that vibe of that age range, that's what we're looking for. Yeah.
It's a good question, and it's such a consideration when it comes to casting, because obviously, you know, there's couple partner together in shows, so you got to make sure that you balance that out. So, you know, a lot of times it's difficult casting because you may have like 2 really great people that you want to cast, but putting them in the scene together or in the show together just wouldn't work, right? So yeah, like so much goes into it.
I have 2 things just sort of around that. On the audition notice, there is a physicality and intimacy sort of chart that lets you know what might be up for that character. So just make sure that you check that and make sure that you're comfortable with anything that's in there, because there's some people who might get snuggly. on stage, and if that's not your thing, that would be good for you to know ahead of time. Our lovely goddess of a stage manager could not be here this evening. And on her behalf, if you don't know Amanda Cook, she's amazing. Also on the audition form you're gonna get, there's also another really important question, which is what are your conflicts? For the that, but more importantly, for the actual rehearsals. Cause we cover some things like Thanksgiving,
Christmas.
like Passover. So be like, make sure that you put those in and that you're really honest about them. And because a lot of stuff we can work around, but there's gonna be 28 people in the show. And if we have to start changing the rehearsal schedule, which we will be building based on the conflicts that you put on your sheet, it will make Amanda sad and possibly feral. So yeah.
And we are starting rehearsals earlier than we typically start for the fall show, only because Labor Day falls really late this year. So if we were to start after Labor Day, we would actually lose like 6 rehearsals.
Yeah.
And so we are, I think it's the 22nd or the 24th of August, but we are not doing Sundays in August. Nobody's given up their summer Sundays. So I think there's just two or three or 4, like a Monday and 3 Mondays and Wednesdays in August. And then Labor Day, and then we'll pick up the Sundays after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Miguel, I have a question for you.
Oh, yeah,
Are you taking pit orchestra auditions by chance, or is the pit already set for the show?
it's already set for the show, but I'm always looking for musicians for future
Future shows.
shows, and I also contract for other shows, so
Yep.
beyond
This
SMT. Yeah,
person
send
send
it
me
out.
your details and I'll forward you over to Miguel.
Excellent, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions before I go on to other stuff? Everybody's fine? Okay, so we're just gonna quickly, since we're been here chatting so long.
Man,
everyone's
we
through.
talked.
Yes, you guys really talked. And a late start. So just quickly, we're gonna go over cast requirements, membership and production hours. Most of you have done shows with SMT, some of you have not. So I just want to go over that. If you are cast in the show, and I hope to goodness all of you are cast in the show, because we love to make this show nice and friendly and great. You have to pay a membership fee. So regular membership fee is $30 for the year. It gives you discount tickets for SMT shows, theater Scarborough shows. There's all kinds of other.
So I think it's 40.
Oh, it was up to 40? Okay, so I was one of Sheila's name. Oh, it's right, because you did it by.
Yeah, we have it here.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
followed the wrong one. There's a tiered one for the year. I was looking at the middle show. Sorry, everybody. So it's $40. And then there's a whole list of membership benefits that we can go over once you're in the show and we go through the welcome package. And also in the welcome package, there'll be a set of forms for you to scan and fill out. These are your health forms and your, policy of this and your risk management of that or whatever. We ask that you fill those out and we will be staying on top of it to make sure those are all done, and also your health information too. So if something happens, we have the stage manager, Amanda, has details on how to help us if we needed to call in situation for a 911 or something. Also, if you're casting the show, you have show production hours. Show production hours can be so much fun, and we all get together and laugh and tell stories and chat. So during production hours, you can come and help paint, or you can help build the sets, you can help the costume designer do things. Any special talents you have, you let Gabriel or I know, we'll try and fit you in, link you up to somebody that needs assistance. For this show, we have the lovely Diana doing costumes. We have the amazing Sue Smith doing our prop. So, and
Be a nomination.
yes, our head carpenter is gonna be Adam Connor, who those of you who have worked with Adam before, he does amazing work and just is very talented and.
The guy with really cool trailer, right?
He's on
Yeah.
trails and stuff. And if you know anybody that wants to come out and help, family, friends are always welcome. Family and friends hours that come out and help with the show, help go to your production hours. So the more and merrier that comes out and help.
Children, if you
Always
have
need
kids, you can bring them.
Yeah, volunteer hours too for high school kids, keep that all in mind. Also for the show, you can do the light walking, helping set up for sound. hanging, the lights at the theater, organizing the program, bios and photos. It's also part of the production hour buildup. Social media, if somebody wants to do the social media helps, the social media takeover on move-in day. We also have, social committee. We will pick a handful of people to be our lovely social committee. Katie Wise back there has been on the social media a couple times. But social committee is an amazing opportunity to help organize the events, to keep everybody involved, to help organize the food and organize the gatherings and the closing party and all that stuff. And you work with Daniel and I too on budgets and all that. Let's see, anything else on here? Oh yeah, and then for tear down and stuff that is not part of production house. So if you're helping out theater, moving in or moving out, that is just part of the requirement of being part of the show. Also, when you're involved in the show, there might be some additional costs to you. Your pantyhose, your maybe some makeup. If it's specialized makeup, we will discuss. I don't think the show really requires specialized makeup. As Scott was saying, the tap shoes and stuff we will take care of.
Zombie, anything goes.
Also show paraphernalia if somebody wants to look after that. Merchandise stuff. The last few shows we've done music, wonderful zip hoodies, we've done ball caps, we've done bags. Yeah, so then we'll go into volunteer opportunities.
Yeah.
On that.
So guys, with lots of volunteer opportunities, even if you're not in the show or you're family members, like you said, teenagers, friends, they just want to be in the theater environment. We have lots of opportunities. You can do front of house volunteering, table volunteering, refreshments, information backstage. Anyone that wants to get involved, just reach out to us. We have lots of places we can use them. So just reach out to me or Sherry and we can set you guys up.
And
Thank you guys so much for coming tonight. This is gonna be. I want to thank our lovely panel here tonight as well for answering so many wonderful questions, and thank you guys for your energy. Thank you for everyone who came on Zoom tonight, and we are going to get into our.
Right.
Yeah, so.
no, audition bookings. If anybody needs to book an audition.
And before people drop from Zoom, and I don't know who's staying for the movement workshop. I just for, well, I guess it's anyway, I'll just say that for the recording. So if you're staying for the movement workshop, one of the things you'll also learn from me is like I really believe in storytelling through movement and storytelling through choreography. And we're not doing Oklahoma here, right? We're not doing a dream ballet, but I do think that there should be a purpose in all of the movement that we do on stage. I hate going to see shows where it's like, why are they dancing? It doesn't mean anything. And so tonight, even in this movement call, so tonight we're going to be doing a little snippet of the song Blow, Gabriel Blow, which happens at the top of Act 2. And really, like, Reno singing it, she's this she's a retired evangelist, big turn nightclub singer. And in the song, she's really trying to get people to like repent their sins and give up the devil. I'm not a religious person at all, so I don't like to use those analogies, but I'm going to read what I put down for the feeling of the movement combo, and you can totally judge me for how cheesy this is. So in this number, right, it starts with people carrying around versions of themselves that they've been hiding. At first, everyone's really in the number, everyone's like really tightly wound and guarded, and as the song moves on, the movement really starts to crack people open until the room just explodes with energy and everybody has a feeling of relief. And by the end of the number, everyone's dropped the performance that they should be putting on and feels completely free. So in this number, when we build it in the show, it's going to really build where the movement becomes contagious, like one person releasing something and everybody else kind of catches on to that. But as we learn this tonight, and as we learn it when we do the actual auditions, I really want you to think about like the movement should feel like you are giving yourself permission to let go of whatever it is, guilt, shame, secrets, expectation, whatever it is that you feel. We all have something in our life where we're like, oh my God, I hate that about myself. I just want to not have to worry about it, right? bring that feeling tonight as we work through the movement of trying to release something that is important to you. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, anybody else has comments, questions? Anybody else have questions, anything else? It's David.
Yeah, totally.
So good.
There's more. I don't want to take them home.
What can audition?
And if you're on Zoom and you didn't come in person, you're missing cookies. Just
We're just gonna get set up on our end for the dance call,
Yeah.
folks, so if you're staying online, just hang out with us for a minute. There's gonna be a little bit of chaos, so I'm gonna put it on mute on this end until we get started with the dance call.
Keep going.
Movement call, I stand corrected.